Chapter 14: Trauma and the Endocrine System. Introduction: the stress response and hormonal imbalances. The endocrine system plays a critical role in regulating the body's response to stress, mainly through the hypothalamic-pituitary-adrenal (HPA) axis, which controls the release of stress hormones like cortisol. Trauma can severely disrupt the endocrine system, leading to hormonal imbalances that affect emotional regulation, immune function, and physical health. In this chapter, we'll explore how trauma impacts the HPA axis, blood sugar regulation, and other hormonal systems, leading to conditions like adrenal fatigue, cortisol imbalances, and thyroid dysfunction. We'll also discuss strategies for restoring balance to the endocrine system through nutrition, supplementation, and integrative therapies. The HPA axis, regulating the body's stress response. The hypothalamic-pituitary-adrenal (HPA) axis is the central regulatory system that controls the body's response to stress. When an individual perceives danger, the hypothalamus in the brain sends a signal to the pituitary gland, which then stimulates the adrenal glands to release cortisol and adrenaline. These hormones prepare the body for a fight-or-flight response by increasing heart rate, blood pressure, and energy production. In individuals with post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, the HPA axis is often dysregulated. This dysregulation can lead to either excessive or insufficient cortisol production, both of which have profound effects on mental and physical health. Cortisol imbalances and trauma. Cortisol is the body's primary stress hormone. While it plays a key role in the short-term response to stress, chronic trauma can cause cortisol levels to become imbalanced, leading to a range of physical and emotional symptoms. Chronically high cortisol. Prolonged elevated cortisol levels can cause muscle breakdown, weight gain, especially around the abdomen, immune suppression, and cognitive impairments. Individuals with PTSD often experience high anxiety, hypervigilance, and difficulty sleeping due to high cortisol levels. Chronically low cortisol. In cases of adrenal exhaustion, cortisol levels may become too low, leading to symptoms such as chronic fatigue, emotional numbness, and an inability to cope with stress. This can also lead to a weakened immune system and increased susceptibility to illness. Blood sugar regulation and trauma. Blood sugar regulation is closely linked to the HPA axis and cortisol production. Cortisol helps regulate glucose metabolism by raising blood sugar levels during times of stress to ensure the body has enough energy for the fight-or-flight response. However, chronic stress and trauma can lead to blood sugar dysregulation, which contributes to mood instability, fatigue, and metabolic disorders. Trauma disrupts blood sugar regulation in two ways. Insulin resistance. Chronic stress can cause elevated blood sugar levels, which over time may lead to insulin resistance. Insulin resistance occurs when the body's cells become less responsive to insulin, the hormone that helps transport glucose into cells for energy. This can lead to weight gain, fatigue, and an increased risk of developing type 2 diabetes. Hypoglycemia, low blood sugar. Trauma survivors may also experience episodes of low blood sugar. Hypoglycemia, which can result in irritability, anxiety, brain fog, and dizziness. These episodes occur when the body's blood sugar drops too quickly after a cortisol spike. The stress blood sugar cycle. Cortisol and blood sugar. When cortisol levels rise in response to stress, blood sugar also increases. This prepares the body to deal with immediate threats. However, when stress is chronic, this constant elevation in blood sugar can lead to cravings for sugary or high-carbohydrate foods, further destabilizing blood sugar levels. Adrenal fatigue and hypoglycemia. When the adrenal glands become exhausted from prolonged stress, they may struggle to produce sufficient cortisol, leading to blood sugar crashes. These crashes can leave trauma survivors feeling drained, anxious, and irritable. The impact of trauma on the thyroid gland. The thyroid gland, which regulates metabolism, is another part of the endocrine system affected by trauma. Prolonged stress and trauma can disrupt thyroid function, leading to conditions such as hypothyroidism, underactive thyroid, or hyperthyroidism, overactive thyroid. The role of sex hormones in trauma recovery. Sex hormones, such as estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone, also play a role in how individuals respond to stress and trauma. Trauma can disrupt the balance of these hormones, leading to mood disturbances, reproductive health issues, and sexual dysfunction. Adrenal fatigue, the aftermath of chronic stress. Adrenal fatigue occurs when the adrenal glands are overworked by chronic stress and can no longer produce adequate amounts of cortisol and other stress-related hormones. This condition is common in individuals with PTSD who have been living in a prolonged state of hyperarousal. Healing the endocrine system after trauma. Restoring balance to the endocrine system after trauma requires an integrative approach that includes both lifestyle changes and targeted therapies. Key strategies include nutrition for hormonal and blood sugar balance, omega-3 fatty acids. These help reduce inflammation and regulate cortisol levels, supporting healthy metabolism and blood sugar regulation. Magnesium. Magnesium helps calm the nervous system and regulates blood sugar by improving insulin sensitivity. Balanced meals. Eating meals that combine protein, healthy fats, and complex carbohydrates helps stabilize blood sugar levels, preventing spikes and crashes. Supplementation for endocrine and blood sugar health. Adaptogens. Adaptogenic herbs like ashwagandha and rhodiola help balance cortisol levels and regulate blood sugar by improving the body's response to stress. Chromium. This mineral helps improve insulin sensitivity and stabilize blood sugar levels, reducing the risk of hypoglycemia or insulin resistance. Vitamin D. Vitamin D supports overall hormonal balance, including insulin regulation, and reduces inflammation. Key takeaways. Trauma disrupts the HPA axis and cortisol production, leading to imbalances that affect blood sugar regulation, thyroid function, and adrenal health. Chronic stress can lead to insulin resistance, causing blood sugar imbalances that contribute to fatigue, mood swings, and metabolic disorders. Restoring balance to the endocrine system and blood sugar levels requires a holistic approach, including dietary changes, adaptogens, and supplementation. Addressing blood sugar regulation through nutrition, supplements, and lifestyle changes is key to improving mood stability, energy levels, and overall health in trauma survivors. Resources. Krausos, GP 209, Stress and Disorders of the Stress System, Nature Reviews, Endocrinology 57, 374-381, https doi.org, 10.038/Narendo.2009.106, McEwen, B.S., 2007, Physiology and Neurobiology of Stress and Adaptation, Central Role of the Brain, Physiological Reviews, 87, 873-904, https jotdoi.org, 10.152/Physrev, 0004 1.2006. Navio, R.K., 2014. Metabolic Features of the Cell Danger Response. Mitochondrion, 16, 7-17. https doi.org, 10.1016/jmito.2013.8.06. Sapolsky, R.M., 2004. Why Zebras Don't Get Ulcers, The Acclaimed Guide to Stress, Stress-Related Diseases, and Coping. Holt Paperbacks. Smith, S.M., and Vale, W.W., 2007. The Role of the Hypothalamic Pituitary Adrenal Axis in Neuroendocrine Responses to Stress. Journal of Clinical Investigation, 117, 1, 22-31. https doi.org 10.172/J, CY 97418.